Dr. Hovind, I love your doctoral thesis. I've torn it to pieces with house and gaffle. I can't remember when I last pissed myself laughing. It's a good thing the thesis mopped the piss off the floor.
Welcome to part 67 of this read-through and peer review of Kent Hovind's doctoral dissertation, which was published on wikileaks.org on December 9th, 2009. If you have not yet seen the previous parts in this series, then I recommend that you go back and see those first, as in this episode I will start off exactly where I finished off in the last. In the last episode, Kent told us all about ocean floor sediments, specifically how ocean floor sediments were only a certain thickness. However, he didn't tell us what this thickness was and how it varied over the ocean floor. He continues in this episode, and we just know that the flood's gonna come up somewhere. Kent continues. The ocean sediment indicates a young age for the Earth. No, Kent, it indicates a relatively young age for the ocean floor. Of course, the rate of the deposition of sediment is always a factor that must be considered. Yes, Kent, it absolutely must. There is, after all, considerably less sediment right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean compared with, say, at the mouth of the Amazon River. But do carry on. Right after a worldwide flood, quite a bit of sediment would accumulate just right there. Where, Kent? Come on, where exactly? Can you put an X on the map so we can have a look? Or is there just sort of everywhere? You do realize that 18th and 19th century geologists looked everywhere for the worldwide flood and the layer of sediment that it would have deposited. They were absolutely convinced that they were going to find it. After all, it said that there was a worldwide flood in the Bible, and at the time they believed it. The problem was, Kent, is that they looked and looked and looked and looked, and no matter where they looked, they could find no evidence whatsoever. That is, of course, why they had to seriously revise geological theory, more in line with geological theory that we see today. I mean, it's not like you say, Kent, that they completely dismissed any evidence because of some influence from Satan or some other red-coloured being with horns and a tail. No, they went out there with the preconceived notion that it was there, and they didn't find it. But we'll let you prattle on. That is why, if you get an age of 25 or 30,000 years at our current rate of deposition, it is possible that the first 70% was accumulated in a few years after the flood. No, Kent, the reason that you're getting an age of 25 or 30,000 years is because you're looking at sediment sat on top of 25 to 30,000 year old ocean floor. But tell us more. Then the rate of deposition would have dropped to where today it would look like 30,000 years, but actually would be accounted for in 4,000 years. Kent, you can't be specific, you won't be specific. You're dismissing all of modern geological theory, a theory that was developed in the marked absence of any evidence for a flood. So I'm going to dismiss your argument as bullshit there. Carry on to the next one. The erosion of the continents indicates a young Earth. Yes, of course it does, Kent. Would you like to tell us how? At the current rate of erosion, we are losing a lot of ground to the ocean. Yes, Kent. And if you look in certain places, you'll find we're gaining a lot of ground from the oceans, too. But I'll let you prattle on. New Orleans, for instance, is built on sediment that has come down from Illinois. The major river systems have been tested fairly carefully a number of times to see how much sediment they are bringing out every year, how much material is being transported. Yes, Kent, how much material is being transported? Oh, you don't say. Maybe you just don't know. Maybe you're just making this shit up. But continue anyway. At the current rate of erosion, the continents would erode down to sea level in 14 million years. The mountains would be gone and the entire Earth would be a swamp. Really, Kent. So granite and other tough rocks erode at exactly the same rate as sandstone and various other soft rocks. Curious. I think you're missing a serious point, but I think you allude to that later, so we'll pick that up then. Continue. If the evolutionist is going to say that we have 140 million years since the times of the dinosaurs, that is enough time for the Earth to erode away 10 times. Really? Continue. So they come up with the theory of the continental lifting, plate tectonics, brackets, the plates shifting around, close brackets, the subduction of the Earth, the mid-Atlantic ridge. All of these may have some validity, but the rate of erosion proves that the Earth is not 140 million years old. Yes, Kent, that's quite correct. And in fact, the presence of 4.3 billion year old rocks in Western Australia proves that the Earth is much, much older. And of course, the theory of plate tectonics and uplifting is all observed. The Atlantic is getting wider, the Pacific is getting smaller, the Himalayas are getting higher, and Africa is breaking away from Arabia. The movements may be minute, but over the 100 years that we have been watching, they are discernible. Nobody is denying the fact that the rate of erosion would erode the present mountains that we see on the surface of the Earth today easily within 140 billion years. In fact, in prehistoric times, there was a range of mountains that ran down the centre of Ireland. This is being completely eroded away. What you are denying, Kent, is that new mountains can be uplifted. In fact, Kent, what you are ignoring is observable fact. But anyhow, continue. My explanation would be that most of the erosion, the formation of mountain ranges and Grand Canyon, was formed after the flood, as the water went down. Really, Kent, and where did that water go down to? And where is all that sediment that it apparently eroded away? It isn't there, is it, Kent? We know it isn't there because the 18th and 19th century geologists who went looking for it couldn't find it. But tell us more. Then the current of erosion would be misleading, and the Earth would be only 4,000 or 5,000 years old since the flood happened. Be accurate, Kent. After all, you can date things accurately using ages within the Bible. I mean, after all, Kent, haven't biblical scholars added up the ages of all the characters in the Bible to give a almost precise date for the creation of the Garden of Eden? Surely they should be able to give an accurate date for your flood. After all, they only have to add up as far back as Noah. Using your own twisted logic and mythical fairy tales, you should be able to date the flood a lot more accurately than 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. However, I'm presuming that, as there is no other supporting evidence other than what is written in your dusty old book written by goat herders, you can't, because the crap you're spewing is just all bullshit, and I suspect that, deep, deep down, you know that.